parents watching any game, how many times you coach or watch your goalkeeper when the ball is in the opponent's half? And then another question is, how many times during a training session, you're training your team, you are actually coaching the goalkeeper during that session? Okay, and that's part of today's presentation gonna be, and it's kind of make you aware of the importance of having the goalkeeper involved in everything that we do. So let me go ahead. I would like to share some of the important things that a goalkeeper internally and externally is gonna be always part of it, okay? So internal factors to measure or to develop or to analyze the performance of the goalkeeper. It's gonna be technical, tactical, mentally, physical, and anthropometric. Okay, those are internal factors that is always gonna be with the goalkeeper, regardless the age. Some external factors that I have here, it's gonna be the level of competition that varies, and also, for example, field condition. So here, I don't want you to get too scared of all the information. I know, like Art said in the beginning, goalkeeper can get very detailed, but the idea of today is that you understand everything that involves and it's around the goalkeeper position, okay? And then from there, break it down to see what the everyday training session looks like. So just a little, just a little idea of everything involved. Technically, understand the goalkeeper also, it's part of the play when you don't have the ball and when you have the ball, okay? So the goalkeeper attacks and also defends. With the ball, without the ball, tactically, again, super important, set pieces, strategy. Mentally, everybody talks about mental state of the goalkeeper, huge, important aspect of how we develop from a very young age, the mental capacity of a goalkeeper being under pressure, maybe years, later on. And these are some aspects that are very important for that. Physically, and this is two things that I would like to let you and to explain a little bit in detail, because it happened to me. I play as a goalkeeper, right? And I could be physically lacking some aspect, but my body, the measure of my body, because I was born that way, I could take that into advantage, to match up some physical qualities. So again, when we're recruiting or when we're looking at a game, your eyes are always gonna be looking at the goalkeeper, and you maybe say it's very athletic, okay? Now, my question is, are we taking in consideration that maybe if it's a 12-year-old boy, maybe at that age, it's gonna look certain way. But are we thinking about the capacity of that goalkeeper when they grew up to 16, 18 years old? Can we imagine, just because of the anthropometrics, can we vision how he's gonna grow up? And having that in mind, how are we adapting the physical training to develop that goalkeeper at that age with the body that it has at that moment? So again, it's very important to understand that no matter what, doesn't matter if you're tall, if you're short, you can still work on the strength, you can still work on the coordination, on your speed, and everything. Okay, so when you're looking at a goalkeeper, very important, be very objective and realistic of what's in front of us, what age is the goalkeeper, and then try to measure and try to understand what's in front of that goalkeeper. Obviously, footwork, handling, those are things within everything. So just have that in mind. So just remember these slides, because I'm gonna make some reference later in the next slides. So here is something that, again, I was trying to come up with an idea on how to put in a graphic the involvement in training of a goalkeeper. So I'm gonna explain what it means. And then again, if you have any questions, write it down, send them over. But again, I wanna say three techniques or three methods that we can come up. Isolated technique. That means we're just gonna teach how a goalkeeper can catch a ball. So we isolate that goalkeeper, we do repetitions, and it's very analytical, okay? And that, as you can tell, I broke it down into different age groups because each age group requires different type of training. So at the earliest ages, 6, 7, 8 years old goalkeeper, we can see that the amount of isolated technique training is higher, okay, than when a goalkeeper is 18 or older, because that's when we want to make the major emphasis, when they're younger. Then we have the global, which is the yellow bar. Globally means when we, for example, we're in the training session, we are in the last part of the session, we have a scrimmage. Everybody is involved in that game. How are we, or how much are we coaching the goalkeeper in that situation? Okay. And last, and it's the green bar across the graphic, that says it's a mix of both. Okay, so for example, maybe some of you are very lucky that next to you is always going to be a goalkeeper coach, right? So if you're the head coach and you have your goalkeeper coach, it's the ideal scenario. Why? Because the head coach can be coaching the team, can be doing a small size, maybe finishing, working in the attacking third, 7v5 goalkeeper, whatever it is. But your head coach is taking care of the team. Well, then you'll have your goalkeeper coach next to the goalkeeper and trying to coach during that situation. Because something that is very important is that ultimately we want to recreate the most game-like situation during training session. Otherwise, we can't expect that our goalkeeper is going to perform how we want in the game if they've never been exposed to that situation. And if you're a goalkeeper coach, or if you're very into this world, you probably know that it's very difficult to recreate everything that happened in the game during training session. Okay, like I mentioned in the beginning, those external factors, weather conditions, you don't know if you can be training like in sunny San Diego, that is beautiful all day, right? But I come from Chicago, where you have no idea what it was gonna be like. Maybe training in a beautiful day and the game, it's snowing. Is the goalkeeper ready for that? Probably no. However, is the goalkeeper trained to make the best decision to prevent those goals, or to anticipate what the opponent is gonna do at some moment? That can be trained, and it's our job and our responsibility to create that environment where the goalkeeper is exposed for that. Okay. So again, in this graphic, I want to represent how much of coaching the goalkeeper is between the age group and how we can incorporate. Okay, so the older the goalkeeper gets, the more you can coach the goalkeeper during the global training with everybody involved. And again, something to keep in mind, have the goalkeeper engage, ask questions, right? So the decision making and the engagement and the concentration level is there. But at the younger ages, again, we gotta sell this beautiful position, and we want goalkeepers to have fun, to learn the technique, to not be scared of diving, because they learn it so well that when they get on the field, they have those tools to execute.
Eloisa.
Yep.
Real quick, what age do you recommend to specialize goalkeeping? Because I know a lot of our coaches out there are, maybe rotating players at the
Yep.
goalkeeper position. But what age do you recommend really specializing and giving them that training?
I think U12 could be a good start. And for example, when I was in Chicago, I was coaching U9 boys. Okay, so some of them were 8 years old. And I will have one day where I'll train everybody that was going to train as a goalkeeper. Why? Because nobody wants to be in goal. Why? Because they make mistakes. The parents are yelling at them. The teammates are, saying how bad they are. So nobody wants to be a goalkeeper. But the best is everybody be a step on the goal. Understand what it feels to be a goalkeeper. So again, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, everybody should try to be there, but that doesn't mean that you cannot coach them, because like I said, I was coaching goalkeepers, and that was, it was fun. It was great to coach that young age, and they experienced that. And then you'll see like the full-time goalkeeper kind of thing.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Here again, like I mentioned before, how can we create the most game-like situation during the week? And if any coach does that, please let me know, because I want to learn how to make it even, more realistic. So here, when a coach is planning, when a coach is looking to the week, you can have your periodization plan. Again, if you remember the first slide with everything that is part of the goalkeeping world, then you want to break it down. You're not going to teach a goalkeeper everything in a month. It can take maybe a couple of years until you make it perfect, but you have your periodization plan. You know what you want to teach them. You know what you want to be dedicating the time. So when you have your topic, you also need to think, okay, what are the type of solutions that I want to give the goalkeeper? And then the game day, that goalkeeper is going to be able to solve that situation. And that's through repetition. Early ages, again, a lot of repetitions where the goalkeeper it's automatic, the decision that it's making, because it's able to read the game, to read the ball, and to maybe step forward, or having those cues of what we're teaching them. So then it's like, oh, if the ball is coming like this, I'm going to step in front of the ball. I'm going to have my hands behind the ball. And then that's when you start coaching the detail. Okay. Then again, we make it reality. How do we make it reality? Well, let's say that you're coaching a 7v7, you have a 7v7 team, and you're rotating goalkeepers, and you have a 3v2 going to goal. Is that realistic? It's pretty realistic. Now, you cannot be limiting, okay, you can only shoot when you cross the build-up line. That's probably not going to be realistic, because Saturday, maybe they keep dribbling all the way in. So that's when you observe and you ask questions to your goalkeeper. Hey, what can you do here? What can you do when you see that there is a forward coming right straight at you and there's no defender? And see what happened. Is that going to be realistic? Maybe. So now you're coaching how the goalkeeper is making a decision. And when the goalkeeper makes a decision, our job is to say, if it's successful, then great. You are going to tell them it was successful because you did A, B, C. If it wasn't successful, why it was? Maybe didn't recognize distance with the ball. Maybe it wasn't in the right position in relation with the opponent, the defenders, or maybe it was a bad execution. So when it's a bad execution, that's the perfect time to teach that technique. Okay, and now I'm going to make a reference to the grassroots courses that the US is doing, right? Is teaching in the game. You're teaching technique within the game. Okay, and that's what it is, the best way to learn, because on Saturday, if you're saying, oh, you always have to do it like this, Saturday is probably not going to happen like that. And then the kid is going to go to you, but coach, you told me on Wednesday that I have to do it like this. And then whose fault it is, right? Is it us, or this goalkeeper can't do anything? So again, that's why reality in the training session, you can observe the decision making, you can observe the execution, and after that, that's when you are gonna mention the technique, because there's many times that a coach can use their foot to make a save. Maybe it's not the best, technique. However, in the game, it makes the most beautiful save. Then we say, great job. But on Wednesday, why didn't you dive? Why did you use your foot? Oh, you weren't prepared, or you weren't focused to anticipate, right? So that's the difference between how do we teach technique as a development, and then how do we evaluate the execution? Because again, there's goalkeepers that are gonna make the best saves, and it's like, what is the technique? There's no technique here, but that you can also praise that, like, good, that was a save, and keep working from that. And that's why I mentioned more complex, because the level of complexity also is gonna come with the age. I'm gonna be demanding different things to my U17 goalkeeper than to a U10. Why? Because they're older. And the older you get, the more complex the game becomes, the more involved you want the goalkeeper to be. Like, hey, it's important. The goalkeeper is it's a key player in the field. Okay, and then the level of competition, like I mentioned before, there is a time for everything, and understand who you are coaching. That's the biggest thing. What level of competition you're in.
Okay.
Always training sessions should include motivation. Many times a goalkeeper, this is so frustrating. They're shooting from very close to me. Well, what do you do as a coach? It's gonna happen, but how are you keeping your goalkeeper engaged, motivated, balance the frustration, balance the anxiety, balance the stress, because there is a lot of bad emotions into the goalkeeping world. Just remember that one mistake, it can be a goal. So it kind of sucks a little bit. So how a goalkeeper is managing, and again, it's our responsibility as coaches. Are we creating the most game-like scenario during the week that a goalkeeper is going to be able to handle that in the game, regardless the age? Okay, and then engagement, attention. It's hard. Also, it's like I can't concentrate. It's just, it's so long. The ball doesn't get to me. My team is so good. We're winning 7-0. I don't even touch the ball. Well, again, as a coach, what are you doing to keep that goalkeeper engaged? And that's why one of the questions I asked in the beginning, there is a corner, the ball is in the opponent's half. I look back at my goalkeeper and say, hey, what can you do if we just lost the ball right now? And he's like, okay, a state of alert. Now I'm reading the game. Now I'm understanding the game. Now I'm probably gonna prevent a situation where we can get attacked. So that's why, how can we, those three components, have it in mind, whether you're a goalkeeper coach or whether you are the head coach, but always understanding that there's going to be a person right there that is key in the game, and we need to get them involved. I'm going to talk about 3 examples. That's me, all indoor, location in West Dundee, Illinois. Again, that's another external factor. Why? Because in winter, we're not training outside. So we are adapting to an indoor scenario. In this situation, I was teaching goalkeepers, U7 to U10, how to scoop the ball. Okay. Can you teach that to all their age group? Absolutely. The amount of detail in that explanation varies. And then the complexity of the exercise is also gonna vary. So for example, here, I'm breaking it down completely. So you're never gonna see a goalkeeper on their knees when they're gonna scoop the ball on the game or in the training. However, do they know how to get down with one knee? Probably no. So let's start from just using the hands. Hands and coordination, your feet, your body. So again, closing your elbows, getting your chest down, reading the ball. Where is the ball coming from? So those details, the more we can give it to the younger ones, the better, and more resources we are giving to them when they're growing up. Okay.
So I do have a question about that, because as they get older, and you're saying the details increase and they vary.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, first of all, do you use video technology when training technique, mostly technique, and when they're getting the repetitions and the footwork, obviously the ball handling as well? So do you use video technology?
So that's a very good question. And nowadays we have a lot of ways to use it and to be creative. For example, one day in one of the goalkeeper sessions, one of the goalkeepers was injured. So I gave her my phone and I said, now you're gonna record your teammates. And after every exercise, it was a high intensity, it was isolated training. Then they were able to go back to my phone at that moment and see it. Because sometimes, because of my accent or my explanation, they don't understand me. And that's a big challenge for me to communicate in my second language. But, I'm very honest. I'm still learning this beautiful language, but my players know, and I have no issue to repeat or say, how do you say this? Use Google Translate. So because all of those barriers that I have in front of me, and probably many coaches have as well, just record it. There's nothing better than your own image and you seeing yourself. So it's not my opinion anymore. It's what you say.
And how often do you use the video aid during your sessions? Do you use it like once a week for a player or for a session? Do you use it all the time? How often do you?
So I don't, for goalkeepers, I don't use it as much. I love to use it more. However, I ask goalkeepers, we have the platform, one of the platforms that record our games, and I do ask goalkeepers, because we have that, some clubs don't, but we do have that, to go back at the games and do clips. I can sit with them often when it's needed. Sometimes I think I have so much time and I don't, and it's like, hey, we need to do it, and maybe it's once a month. We do individual meetings, so that's the perfect time. We do 3 of them a year, but it's not enough. I would love to do it more, but that takes a lot of time. So if the goalkeeper is proactive, and it's like, I want to see myself, they send me clips, we analyze it together, and yeah. But again, I get creative during those sessions where sometimes I use a parent and I say, can you record me this session?
Right.
So get creative.
Correct. I do have one more question, going back to the obviously the isolated technique. How often do you mix the physical with technique training?
That's a very good question.
Mix it, yeah.
So the physical for me won't. Sorry, you said the mixed training or
when you mix technique and physical training. So maybe something physical that leads to a technique, or a technique, then you do something physical.
Okay, so we have a periodization plan, and we keep that in mind. It's not the same, the workload of a field player on a Monday after the game than a goalkeeper. Okay, because we technically don't run as much. However, because we look at a year long, or maybe we break it down in the 3 months, we're looking at components that we want to teach technique. And then physically, what can we implement? For example, coordination, the strength, the speed. And you can do that every day a little bit, but a whole session of physical, like a big load of volume, I will do that once a month.
Okay.
Because then we have, and that's with a U16, U18 team. With little ones, I don't do any of that. It's coordination, reaction, fun.
Yeah, because that's all built in.
Yep.
That's the training, if you're doing it right.
And then they also do warm up, and they also do fitness checks sometimes with the field players. So that also we need to keep in consideration, that they have their workload as well.
Gotcha. And while we have this picture of you scooping the ball, would you recommend scooping the ball as it comes in motion, or blocking then scooping?
So I've done both, and that's actually a pass.
Okay.
Because again, it's so important that the player understand that the ball is gonna be always moving when you're gonna make a save. So maybe it's gonna take more time, for the player to develop, or to say, because again, I used to have them in partners. So if the player is giving a bad pass, then the scoop is gonna be terrible. However, that may happen on the game. The ball is never gonna come to you. Okay. So how do you find a balance, and how much time you have to dedicate to the goalkeepers, right? And I always say that when there's 2 goalkeepers working together, I always say that the goalkeeper that is sending the ball, is serving the ball, is huge responsibility of how you're passing, how you're kicking it, because depending on you, the other goalkeeper is gonna get better. So again, now you're putting, and now I have to focus, or now I have to have to think how to throw the ball. So answering your question, I'd rather use a ball that is moving, because that's what they're gonna find out. And it may get very chaotic and very messy, but it's okay. That's the game.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Awesome. So again, very important, younger kids, intro to body mechanics. I'm gonna share a little bit about my story. I played for Atletico de Madrid. That's where I learned how to be a goalkeeper and how to coach. That's my home back in Spain. So I learned it at an older age. I started as a goalkeeper when I was 13, and that's almost 20 years ago. The game has evolved. There's more people interested in coaching goalkeepers back in the day. And again, I don't think I'm too old, so I can imagine even before that, it was hard to find specialized coaches just because there wasn't that, there's a head coach, and thank God for that. So
how did you land on being a goalkeeper at 15?
Well, I was gonna get there. So it was very rough. It was very, very rough because again, I play in the field, but goalkeeper it's a different thing. The first year I played goalkeeper, turning 14, my team was very good, and maybe they got to me 2 times, and we win 10-0, 8-0. We were the best. What happened is they maybe get to me twice, and one is a goal. So then they start me thinking like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm not good at this. If I look back at my week, I never trained as a goalkeeper. I was doing everything that field players would do until they say, Elo, getting goal with shooting.
Right, typical.
So I learned by doing it. And then there was a time where I'm like, I need to get better. And my parents they were very supportive on that. And I found 2 great people, and I'm gonna mention one is Juan Carlos Arevalo. He's currently the head coach, the goalkeeper coach for the national team, U17 boys. And he just opened this huge door for me. And I was training with boys, same age and younger, and it was rough. Because again, there is anthropometric aspects that I didn't have that a 13-year-old boy had. And it's just different. However, I was there, I was training, and I love it. And then I did my master's in goalkeeping when I was 18 with Jose Zambade, goalkeeper coach of Monaco. And again, it's like, wow, now I understand what is this position. And it's funny because the older I got, the more confident I felt in goal. And I mean, my best year was when I was 28. So that's why they say goalkeepers last longer, right? Because the experience just makes you better. And we go through so many mistakes. And the one that lasts longer is the one that it's able to look back, to reflect, and to see, okay, what could I have done? There's always something that you could have done, even if you make the best save, okay? And going back to that, I have here the training, so important that you look at what is the profile of the goalkeeper, who you are coaching, and then the environment. Because I've also heard so many times, man, did you see those boys in the picture? Do you see that YouTube save? Oh my God, I want to do that. And then they show up in training, try to do that, they get hurt. Or even a coach, they go online, they look up for the best fun drills when professional goalkeepers are doing, and then you try to do that to a 12 years old, and it's like, they can't do it. So you're pushing it, and you're not understanding, again, who you have in front of you, okay, and then the environment you are. And if I have to say 2 things that hopefully sticks to everybody here is safety, because training goalkeepers, they can get hurt. They dive in their belly, the ball hits the ribs, broken rib. Now we probably lost a talented goalkeeper just because for our responsibility, we weren't able to break down, to coach those details, to teach the kid how to properly dive, okay? Correct. And then linked to that is that we need to get educated. We need to learn how to coach goalkeepers, and we need to understand the position to, the better we understand, the better we can break down the everything that involves the position, the better we can develop goalkeepers.
Now, you mentioned you did your master's in goalkeeping.
Yeah.
So, so in Spain, Spain is known for having specific degrees in coaching, coaching soccer specifically. So, you just talk really briefly about your experience with that and what getting your master's entailed in goalkeeping.
Yeah, so that was a very long year, very long year. It was probably the best experience I've had in coaching education. Coaches like the national coaches at the time of Italy, Portugal, Ocho Torrena, Iker Casillas, goalkeeper coach, Luis Llopis, he is the coach of Keylor Navas, Busquets' dad, who was the goalkeeper coach of Barcelona, the inventor of playing with the feet, goalkeeper playing with the feet. So it opened a huge, like I said, door for me. It was the whole year. It lasted 1 year. It was every Monday, 12 hours. We will do field sessions. We will do classroom sessions, everything like psychology, periodization plan, technique, very detailed. Then also at the time, the goalkeeper coach of the women's national team of Spain. So it was a huge variety of big people that developed the game of soccer through the goalkeeper. And they were very different opinions. And again, when I came to this country, my coach was Brazilian. And the way he was coaching me, it was different than things that I've learned in Spain. Is it wrong? It's not. It's just different. Same with the England style, or same with Italians. They do different things. So the more you know, the more you can collect. Maybe the less you know. But it's good to absorb that information and you create your own. I was able to experience it as a goalkeeper as I learned it. So not only as a coach, but as a goalkeeper, and it made me better goalkeeper.
Fantastic. Go ahead. Thank you. Good stuff.
Yeah. As field players, technique changes based on a tactical situation. I was in that example number 1, I was teaching scooping the ball. Maybe in the picture you see Dustin is not scooping the ball, but maybe it's getting down in a knee, and maybe he's gonna decide to scoop the ball because it feels comfortable. It completely changes based on what's going on. Same with a defender, same with midfielders. So this is another point that helps us understand the more game-like situations we have in the session, and the more we include the goalkeeper to participate on the game situation, the better goalkeeper is able to say, oh, I learned this on Monday. Look what just happened. I use it. And it's like a
light bulb.
Now it makes sense.
Light bulb moment, of course.
Yep. Makes sense. So in this example, for a head coach that doesn't have a goalkeeper coach, because not everybody has a goalkeeper coach. So this is a video of a positional 5v5 with 2 goalkeepers. We have 2 things in mind. That the goalkeepers, we work on scooping the ball. And then the topic of this week is building out of the back. I want my team to do this weekend. Great. So we start with the ball with the center back. And we're going to tell the goalkeeper in red, we're going to say, hey, because you are the target for the blue team, every time they find you, you need to scoop the ball. And voila, we're coaching that technique moment, that decision-making, that execution right there. And for the goalkeeper in blue, if the red team steals the ball, they can shoot. Or again, we can ask them to find the goalkeeper, right, within the measurements that it's more, game-like. So the goalkeeper can also use that scooping moment or control the ball. So let's look at this. And I'm gonna stop one more time here. It went away. Well, I stop it again later. So again, we see the goalkeeper in red moving here. When the goalkeeper has the ball, right here, this is for head coaches. Okay, well, everybody here. Here is another moment for you guys. The goalkeeper has the ball. Can we teach the goalkeeper in this moment? A, be confident, keep the ball on your feet. Because how many times you pass a ball to a goalkeeper and they just kick it because they have no idea what to do. Because everybody's panicking. No, don't pass to the goalkeeper, please. Don't do it. Just kick it out. Then we're losing a player. We're playing with one less player. So here, perfect moment for a goalkeeper. You pass the ball. What is the number one cue for a goalkeeper to make a decision? Well, do you have pressure? Then wait for that pressure. We wait for the number 9 for the forward to come to press you. When that forward is coming, the forward is opening up a blue player. Now we're playing superiority. Now we have numbers up. Look at that. Now we beat them. Okay, so understand, everybody, please. Goalkeeper is the first attacker, and it's super important that goalkeepers understand that they have a whole box and that they can wait for pressure. The moment somebody's stepping to the goalkeeper, there's going to be an open player. I don't know if there's any questions with this example.
No, right now.
Nada? Perfecto. So then we continue. Develop a goalkeeper tactically, shaping the technique and execution. An example that I show you in this little clip, again, is the goalkeeper moving? When is the goalkeeper moving? So even before the goalkeeper is getting the ball, hey, Johnny, how can you hold your center back? And I was like, oh, maybe I should move. Now you're reading the opponent, you're reading your teammate, and you understand where you are. Space and time in relation with the ball. Huge. And that is helping them to be engaged in the game. And when they are little, the earlier they can understand, read and understand the game, the better they're going to be able to anticipate what the opponent is going to do. Okay, so read and understand the game, make a decision, and when you make a decision, you're going to execute. In the execution, the coach is like, hey, bravo, you did this. If it wasn't successful, then why it wasn't? But that's the perfect moment to teach that technique. Okay, so again, even if you don't have a goalkeeper coach, your eyes, and then you can ask maybe, but listen, I'm working on finishing. I want my forward to be scoring a goal. Well, are your eyes only gonna be in the forward? Can you keep a little eye on the goalkeeper when it's part of that it's huge for when you are doing attacking drills.
Yeah, be able to multitask.
Yeah, we have to. We have to know where everything that is around us. And gonna share a little brief moment. When I played professional in Spain, I remember this game. Well, many games, but this one in particularly, I finished the game so hard, terrible. I got in the locker room. Everybody was exhausted. I walk in the locker room. I take my gloves. I'm like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. I have a headache. They all look at me and start laughing. It's like, you didn't run anything. Like, we are exhausted. And I'm like, you guys don't understand. I was thinking for 90 minutes. That is exhausting. That's tiring. So I have the 5 W's here because that was what I've learned for very early ages in playing goalkeeper. 5 W's. What is the current situation? Okay. What is happening, whether you're attacking or not? Why is that happening? Then where in the field? When is it happening? It's not the same a play in the 20th minute that in the 88 when you're winning 1-0, you're down 3-2. It's not the same. So the goalkeeper needs to recognize from the beginning to the end those moments. And last is how I'm gonna participate in this play. Perfect example. The other goalkeeper has the ball. Great. You as a goalkeeper, you should be thinking, how am I gonna participate right now? And that's gonna keep the goalkeeper thinking all the time and anticipating of what can happen. And that's how we help them to be engaged, to be concentrated, and to read and understand. And that will give us the best that we want, is to prevent goals. That's what every goalkeeper wants.
So just going through different age groups. So let's pick two different age groups. Let's pick U9 and then U15. And I know they're very different. I know they're very vast. But
Yeah.
how do we teach them to read the game? We had that question come in. So how do we, what's maybe one or two things that we can do, you know, to be able to teach them how to read the game?
Okay. So one, I would say ask questions to the goalkeeper. Well, first they need to understand it. They need to watch it. They need to know what they're playing, right? That's huge. Sometimes we don't watch it. If I want to play baseball, first I should be watching it because I have no idea. Could be the best coach coming to tell me, but no clue. So once you watch the game, now they're going to say, okay, now I'm a goalkeeper. Do I only use my hands? Well, no. So asking questions to a goalkeeper, hey, what can you do when Melissa has the ball? Now you're thinking, well, what do you mean? Well, when your teammate has the ball, are you attacking or are you defending? Those are questions that are 8, 9, 10 years old should answer. Why? Because again, if we're looking at the grassroots model, the philosophy of the US, that's what we are implementing on the field, all across the US. So once you understand whether you are attacking, you're defending, the goalkeeper recognizes that. Okay? So asking questions. Maybe they have the answer, maybe they don't. But be patient to guide the goalkeeper to just read it, right? Having the ball, not having the ball. What are you doing when the ball? How many times the forward has the ball and the goalkeeper is standing in the line? So what are you doing as a goal? I will ask these questions to my goalkeeper. Hey, Dustin, how far are you from the last defender? Okay, now during the game, I ask that question. And then they look at me, it's like, what about if they kick the ball? Where should you be? How can you help from there? Should I get closer? What do you think? And it's not, again, there's gonna be mistakes, but are we helping read and understand? Mistakes are gonna happen and the coach needs to be okay with them.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
Now the older age groups, maybe, hopefully, if we do that well in the youth, the older they get, the more responsible they are at reading and understanding. But yeah, that's good. Again, now we have the last one, a global. We have the whole team, perfect roster, 22 players, building out of the back. Again, is the goalkeeper, is he just kicking it? If you can look at here, everybody's matched up, right? So imagine what happened when the forward is stepping now. Boom, superiority here, numbers up. So imagine how important the goalkeeper is in the global, in this vision. It's huge. So everybody, I hope, understands that waiting, goalkeeper even can dribble a little bit, but somebody has to step to the goalkeeper. Otherwise, well, goalkeeper is gonna dribble, is gonna create dangers to the opponent. So right now, goalkeeper, because he's holding the ball, because he's waiting for that pressure, is making the number 9 very uncomfortable. And what has happened is if the 9 steps, now everybody's going to be stepping. Now we know that there's always going to be an open player. And as you see, goalkeeper also is moving forward with the team. Now that we are attacking, moves forward. So if you are the coach, you are in the half line, you're observing this, and it just, again, how when the goalkeeper has the ball, how are we creating superiority, numbers up opportunities. So very important, goalkeeper. A little bit of just a summary here. Incorporate goalkeeper in the training session. Goalkeeper, always part of the game. Increase the level of concentration by asking questions. You gotta keep that goalkeeper engaged. Otherwise, it's boring. It is boring, okay? Decision making, like I said, goalkeeper can make this safe that we don't know where it came from. If it was successful, great. You did this very good. If it's not, well, you as a coach recognize. Go back to the first slide with all the information. What didn't work? It was the foot. Didn't move. Was it shifting? Was it static? Was in the basic position? And then help the goalkeeper through that little seconds reflection to understand, hey, if you do this, or what could have you done that is going to make you successful in that next situation? adapt the game to incorporate goalkeepers, even if it's in a rondo, do a positional rondo, throw the goalkeeper behind everybody, again, increase level of difficulty. And then after that execution, that decision making that the goalkeeper decided to do, observe what the technique is. If it's a topic that we learn, then great. Hey, you did great. That was what we learned on Monday. Great job. No matter what age it is. I love it. When I was 26 and I make that save, thanks to, making a mano cambiada save, I was like, oh my God, I remember that. That was on Tuesday. And I called my coach and like, I did it. Okay. And that is just satisfaction all over.
Yeah, we never grow up. The game's the same, whether you're 6 or you're 36. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's,
but I do think it's important to keep on reiterating, Eloisa, the importance of knowing who you're coaching, right? Because how many times have we seen in our careers, and soccer fields across America, across the country, and even across the world, that they have little U8s and little the U10s doing Campos like saves, Jorge Campos like save, flying in the air, which to me, again, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm no goalkeeping expert by any means of the imagination, stress of the imagination, but that's the last thing, right? That, to me, the footwork, right, is the primary thing of a goalkeeper, right? Is getting in good positions, because the save should be a last resort. That kind of save should be a last resort because we couldn't get there with our footwork, right? I mean, and so what do you think about that? Because again, with the power of information, it's a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
You said it before, people getting that. So what are your thoughts on that? And then, how can we help the soccer coaching community as coaches, as instructors, to help educate each other and to keep supporting each other, right? To know the context of what they're doing in the YouTube video first before even trying it.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. You try first and see if you can do it, and then ask your 12 years old to do it. That'll be a good one. I mean, I remember I was 17 years old. I was coaching this extra training with Juan Carlos Arevalo, all boys. I was the only girl, and he coached me. I mean, he told me, "You're lazy," and I'm lazy. Yeah, you're lazy, and you're a handball goalkeeper, balonmano. And I'm like so mad at me. And that was one session where we were working a lot of the speed reaction, moving our feet. So a lot of coordination, feet, and diving, jumping, diving, but a lot of footwork, a lot of moving in your own box to make saves from different angles. He called me lazy because I stopped the ball with my foot. And he was right, because I wasn't even ready in my position, and I'm like, it's too much to dive. My legs are just tiring, and then I just fall back, and that's not good, because then everything that you've done for 45 minutes prior, that key moment to demonstrate that you receive the information, that you understand the technique, and that you execute it, it's gone. But again, 17 years old, I didn't understand. I'm like lazy. Like I don't know why. So again, we need to educate ourselves to understand what we're demanding of our goalkeepers. I've seen crazy things in youth goalkeepers, crazy things, crazy comments for 8, 9, 10, 12-year-old, even a 14-year-old goalkeeper, where they are not even tall enough to cover the goal. So can we be realistic on who is in front of us? And what are we doing to just teach them? And we're not teaching, they're going to learn in the next 10, 20 years. Like I said, my best year, it was when I was 28. Does that mean that my coach, when he was 16, didn't do their job? They did it, but I wasn't yet developed or fully, well-rounded. I started when I was 13. So imagine those that are coaching 6, 7, 8, 9, those little ones, so important. Be patient. Don't think that you're going to teach them everything. No, master them in those little details. Are they diving with their elbow fully extended, or are they diving on their elbow? Then they're going to break it, right? So let's pay attention to that. And it's just going through education. I've studied the goalkeeping. I love it. I don't know everything, but I like it. I enjoy it. Maybe I'm watching a game with my boyfriend and he's looking, oh my God, that's a great shot. And I'm like, no, that's a goalkeeper thing. So it's like, we see what we want to see, right? And again, we need to educate ourselves. We need to analyze, but please leave the YouTube saves for YouTube. Be patient in the process.
We do have a question / comment. Someone as a goalkeeper coach has noticed that girls tend to have more difficulties judging the flight of the ball. Have you noticed that? And what do you think that is attributed to?
Well, I don't know if I will argue if it's the difficulty of reading that or just the execution of your legs. And I can get in a deep answer there. And again, our hips, once we become teenagers, because we're meant to carry a baby, are wider, have less rotation than a man. So we need to work very hard to make it automatic movement. So we need to work maybe extra to turn, to quick move our feet, and then big extension. So the power, the strength of our legs, and the mobility is probably gonna be, you know, if a girl is gymnastic, or there's some sports that help in development when they're little, for boys as well. But I was one of them. It was terrible. I got scored over me, like so many. And it's like, estás comiendo uvas. I'm like, no, I mean, I can't jump. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And it was just that, how to turn your hips, how to back, you know, quick move your feet quick, and then just exploit. So it's a little bit more, maybe I would say, working strength and the explosiveness and the quick rotation. One comment that one coach told me once is like, Elo, you need to dive like a boy. And I'm like, well, then that's going to be difficult. Maybe I should go to a different sport because I'm never going to dive like a boy. I'm a girl. But that's what he meant, because for boys, it's easier maybe for their physical condition. But I mean, we see great goalkeeper women out there making big saves. So it takes that extra effort, that extra training in the legs and hips.
You know, Elo, you touched on a couple of different things as far as different sports. You know, what is your thoughts for young players in this country, especially because there's so many options, right? There's basketball, baseball, volleyball, cross country, all different types of team sports. What are your thoughts on specializing too early in soccer regarding the goalkeeping position? We already talked about that, but in general, what are your thoughts on that?
That's a loaded question, Julio. I changed my thought in the 9 years I live here. I didn't understand. I was so against it the first 4 years. I would just argue it. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, but then if I look back, it's just the dynamic. It's like mixing a sport. You know, as long as there is a balance, I think it's good. At the earliest, you know, youth, it's probably better. I know I have players, again, and this is me learning process and open my mind to new things. It was very new. In Spain, you know, soccer is huge, so everybody plays soccer. But I had a player, a girl in my U10, many years ago, did ballet. That girl could dribble the ball and nobody will steal it from her because her balance was amazing. And she did that since she was 3, and she's still doing it and combining it with soccer. And she's probably now 15. So it helps. I have boys that do wrestling.
Yeah.
Again, you have the ball, that kid has the ball. There's no way nobody's going to steal that ball from him.
Yeah.
So I think a good balance, because you don't want the kid to be stressed. It's more of managing. They have so many things,
right?
School, 1,000 sports. How much pressure are we putting into the kid to perform well? What does that even mean, right?
Yeah.
So a balance.
Sure. For sure. Just give a couple more things before we step out. I'm gonna go ahead and steal the screen back from you real quick, Elo. Yep. We have one more question for everybody as well before they leave. Obviously, we want to thank Elo for her time, and like a wise coach said to me, the greatest gift an individual can give you is their time. And I really want to thank you, Elo, for all the time. I want to thank Art. I want to thank everybody that joined us tonight for taking time away from their families in this kind of uncertain, crazy time to share your story a little bit and get a little bit of, little tidbits. I know it helped me a tremendous amount. But that's our mission here at United Soccer Coaches Latino Group, is to promote and showcase Hispanic and Latina coaches and Latino coaches as well. So I thank you for your time. If people want to get in touch with us, obviously there's the email address. If you have a question, comment, you want to be a member, you want to follow us on our social media, it's at Latino Coaches. For those of you that couldn't get on or for some reason dropped off, this will be posted in our YouTube channel probably by the weekend. And we also have a YouTube channel. And don't forget to use the United Soccer Coaches 30-day membership for free. There's a goalkeeping certificate on there right now, an online course. So jump on that, take advantage if you're not a member already. But if you are a member, just make sure you take advantage of that, because it's a great deal. Any other questions before we wrap up, ladies and gentlemen, with Eloisa Borreguero and Arturo Hernandez? Any other parting thoughts there, Arturo, Eloisa? Any parting thoughts for the group?
Yeah, so just one more thing. I'm going to just throw a bomb in there, right?
Go ahead.
We were doing good up to now. No. So just real quick, parents, how do you deal with the goalkeeper's parents? Because that is extreme. It's a delicate balance, because I know the parent. First of all, I was there. My daughter's a goalkeeper, so I kind of sort of know. How do you deal with parents and goalkeepers?
I like to make them understand that first, that's who they are and that they're gonna learn. It's very sad for me to hear kids say, no, my dad doesn't want me to be a goalkeeper, or my mom doesn't want me to be a goalkeeper because I suck at it. It's painful to hear that from a 10, 12, 6 years old. It's very painful. So I like to just talk to them and say, hey, the kid, they don't know what a mistake is sometimes. They don't know what embarrassment is. It's us, the adults, that are making it obvious, and we're, judging that situation. So sometimes it's the parent that, because they don't want to be in that situation where it's like, oh my God, that's my kid. Now everybody's going to be looking at me. The day that you accepted that they're learning, that it's a game, at the end of the day, it's a game, and they're going to have fun, right? The one that scored, the one that missed a PK, everybody. So parents, I would send this message: just accept your kid. They're playing a beautiful sport. It's a very good position, goalkeeper. It is hard, right? But there's only learning. Look at Buffon. They're 40 years old and they still make mistakes, but they're still there. And the more supporting and encouragement we can give to goalkeepers, the better. It's more of a safe zone. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. Well
No,
said.
I think it's fantastic. And again, just before we sign off, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you finish the questions, the questionnaire at the end. And also we appreciate any kind of feedback that you guys have for ourselves, for Eloisa. Any other questions that we don't get to? I think we pretty much answered them all, though, through your conversation, through different types of thing. We've done a lot of that. We really, I think, we really touched on it, but there's a lot of things, too. Here's one more I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out because your former boss, one of my current bosses is Merrick. He's got a comment for us. You have mentioned working in Chicagoland before. How much do you miss us, Eloisa? Because we have missed you a lot. And I know a lot of the Chicagoland folks that are on tuning in today. I can attest to that. I had the opportunity. Full disclosure, I had an opportunity to work with you a very short time. By the time the 2 or 3 sessions that we did work together, Eloisa, it was very, very awesome, very pleasant, and a very smart coach, very intelligent coach. And I really appreciate all the information that you share with us tonight. And obviously, salute to all those Chicago. But do you miss us is the question, because we miss you.
I miss a lot I learn a lot, and you guys are great people, and it was always a great environment to be in. So I do miss my Chicago people there.
Absolutely fantastic. So without keeping everybody long, any parting thoughts there, Eloisa, for us? Anything, any words of wisdom, anything you want to share with us before we clock out?
No, just keep taking advantage of this moment to learn, to share ideas, to be humble, and to be open to different opinions, because I think the more diverse and the more we hear from each other, the better we become. And at the end of the day, we do this for the kids. We do this for the game of soccer, and we need to be together on this.
Absolutely fantastic. Eloisa, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Arturo,
you.
thank you so much, my friend, for joining us tonight. For those of you who are interested, that tomorrow night we do have our Latino Coaches Advocacy Group meeting on Thursday nights. If you have any questions or would like to be a part of that meeting, please drop us an email at latinocoaches@unitedsoccercoaches.org. But we're happy to engage more and more people. Cross languages, like Eloisa says. Doesn't matter where you're from, who you are, where you were born. That's who you are, right? But we're all coaches. At the end of the day, we're all coaches, and we all do it for the kids.
Yeah.
So if you want to participate in that group, that information is there. And then again, make sure you take advantage of that 30-day membership if you're not already taking advantage of that.
Julio, one more thing.
Sure, go ahead.
I wanna thank. I invited my current team, my 04 GA Albion, and I see some of them. Well, most of them are here. So thank you, ladies, for joining. And I hope I hope the first day that we step on the field, they don't come to me and say, we want to all be goalkeepers, because I won't have a team then. So thank you, ladies.
No,
and thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thanks everybody for spending time with us tonight. This Saturday, we have Vanessa Martinez Lagunas. That presentation will be in Spanish, but she's a great coach, FIFA Pro license. UEFA Pro license, FIFA technical supporter, currently working in Canada. To hear her story, I've had an opportunity. I know Art and Eloisa have had an opportunity before to hear her story. Incredible story of perseverance and determination. Another Latina, another Hispanic coach feature that we have coming up this Saturday. All right, guys. So on behalf of United Star Coaches Latino Group, have a great evening. Take care of yourselves. We miss you all. And we love you guys all. Make sure you take care of yourself and your family. Have a good night. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.